Okay, so it's time to do our third video here. So let's get a clean piece of paper as usual. Here we go. Title is M105 Exam 3 Review, and this is C. It's our third. Okay, I just want to talk about 4 continued. We did the whole problem, but what about Alex's information about number 4? Here's what Alex has for you to plot points. Remember where we had to plot points and then we had to make our parabola in the problem number 4. So there's a plot a point button which looks like this. So you click this icon that looks like this. Okay, what you do is you put in the coordinates of the point of your point, your x coordinate and your y coordinate, and then you click on plot point. Okay, it should be relatively obvious how to work it. Then that will get you. You will put in 5 of these things. You'll do this 5 times to get your 5 points, and then phase 2 is to graph it. They have a graph a function button. So you click on graph a function button, and that looks like this. Looks like this, sort of like a moon, so to speak, and it's got the little X's in it. And as soon as you do that, you got your 5 points. As soon as you click on that, it'll automatically draw. It'll connect the points and draw the graph for you. Okay, that's what Alex should approximately do. It should be rather obvious, but I just want to discuss it so it look fairly familiar. All right, now I need a clean piece of paper for problem number 5. Here we go. Don't take that. Let's come down here and go to a new piece of paper. There we go. Okay, so here we go to problem number 5. Actually, I could have done that on the previous paper, but that's okay. Let's just get started. So g of x is equal to the square root of x minus 3. The question on your paper is, what's the domain? That's what they want to know. Here's what a domain of a function. It can be regular numbers, but it can't be the square root of a negative number. That's imaginary numbers. It can't be divided by 0, and it can't be the square root of a negative number. So how do we figure out what numbers can be in here? Take x minus 3 and make it equal to greater. This is on scrap paper work. Make it greater or equal to 0. Anything greater or equal to 0 is legitimate to go in there, but negative numbers are no good. So it's got to be greater or equal to 0. Solve this, plus 3 on both sides, not a complicated solving. X is greater or equal to 3. Put it into interval notation, which is exactly what they keep asking us to do almost all the time. Interval notation, bracket 3, because 3 is included. All the stuff greater, keep going to the right, greater to infinity, and there it is. And that's it. Okay, here comes number 6. 6 is where I needed a new piece of paper. So we'll just spend a lot of pieces of paper here for this particular video. We don't need this piece. Let's go down and get us a clean piece of paper for problem number 6. Fine, here we go. It is not such a hard problem, but it's a little bit on the long side. So they're going to tell you find. They're going to use some fancy words, differential quotient, but they'll give it. You don't have to memorize something here. They'll give you, and they'll show you what it looks like. F of x plus h minus f of x over h. Okay. And part of the question is that whether you want it for which function do they want you to do this for? This is the function. This is the given. 3x squared plus 1. Now, here comes working on the answer. We need to find f of x plus h. We know what f of x is. It's right given. It's part of our given. But what is f of x plus h? All right, so we got to work on scrap paper and start working on this. What is f of x plus h? Okay, scrap paper. I need some room. It's equal to 3. Then comes x. So what's x? What's the input for x now? It's going to be x plus h. Not x anymore, but x plus h. Then comes the squared. Then the plus 1. Okay, now more scrap paper, right? I'm going to have to be using a lot of scrap paper. Just bear with me. More scrap paper. What is x plus h times squared, which is x plus h times x plus h? What's that? FOIL. X times x is x squared. X times h is xh plus xh. H times x, don't write hx, write xh so you don't get mixed up. Hx and xh are the same thing. AB and BA are the same thing. And h times h is h squared. That's FOIL. What's this equal to? X squared plus 2 of these, xh, plus h squared. So that is what I get from my scrap paper work. Now I can come back here. This is equal to, I'm going to move it a little, I need the room, so I'm moving a little bit to the left. 3 times x plus h squared. What's x plus h squared? We worked it out. It's right over here. It is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, end of parentheses. Okay, very good. Then what, that's 3 of those. The now comes plus 1 at the trailing at the end of this. What is this equal to? 3x squared, and 3 times 2 is 6xh, and 3 times h squared is 3h squared plus 1. All right, that's a lot of scrap paper work. Scrap paper work, scrap paper work. Now I can come down back to the main event. What's f of x plus h? We worked it out. It's right over here. We did that work. F of x plus h is this. So I write 3x squared plus 6xh plus 3h squared plus 1. And then minus what? Minus f of x. What's f of x? It's given. 3x squared plus 1. Over h. Over h. That's the over h. What's this equal to? This is equal to, how much is 3x squared and minus 3x squared? They're gone. How much is plus 1 and this negative? Don't forget the negative applies to both. So how much is plus 1 and negative 1? They're gone. What's left standing over here? The only thing that's left standing after all that work is 6xh plus 3h squared over h. Okay, let me lift up the paper so I can go vertical here. How much is this h appears twice, so I can take it as a GCF and bring it to the outside of the parentheses, and so does 3. In other words, I'm factoring the top. 3 comes out of the parentheses, so does h. 6xh divided by 3h is going to be equal just to plain 6, what am I saying? 3 is going to be equal to, if I bring out that 3, it's going to be equal to 2x. And this is going to just be plain h. This is going to be plain h. Okay. Okay. This is going to be plain h. So 3h squared divided by 3h is going to be plain h over h. All right. What do we have next? These two h's cancel each other out. So I'm going to this side now. It's 3 times 2x plus h, which is another way of saying, and if I put it all together, it's going to be 6x plus 6. And, I'm sorry, this is h, not a 2. 6x plus 3h, and we are done here. That's it. Okay, and the problem is over. There we go for problem number 6. Okay, new piece of paper. New piece of paper. And we come down, get a new piece of paper. All right, let's do problem number 7. There's 2 parts to it, and see how much if we can get both on here. 7 is as follows. 7, what if you're given q of x is equal to x squared plus 6, and you're given r of x is equal to the square root of x plus 9. Okay, problem A. What is q in that little dot, which means we're doing composition of functions of 7. And there's a b, but let's not worry about that right now. So how do I take care of this? All right, step 1 is let's go find q of r of generic x. Let's find that too, and then we'll put a 7 in there. So how do I do that? What comes first? The q comes first, right? So what does the q say? It says x squared plus 6. So I write blank squared plus 6, waiting for input. What's the input supposed to be? It'll be the r. Look at the r function. The r function is the square root of x plus 9. Okay, this is pretty convenient. What happens with a square root and a square? They cancel each other out, basically. And therefore, on the next line is if I have x plus 9 plus 6. What's x plus 9 plus 6? It's x plus 15. What should I do as far as the 7 is concerned? Put a 7 where that x is. 7 plus 15 equals 22. That is the answer to A. Right over here is our answer. Okay, let's go to B. Same given. Here comes B. What do they want now? They want R, the little dot, which is composition, of 7. They decided to use 7 again. Okay, what do we need to do as step 1? Step 1, let's go find R, composition of x, of plain x, the generic x. And then we'll plug in the 7 again. All right, so what's R? It's the square root of blank, waiting for input, that's what x is, plus 9. What's the input? This is going to be the q function. What's the q function? It's going to be x squared plus 6, right? So we're going to put x squared plus 6 in there. Okay, what's our next line? It's the square root of x squared plus 15. All right, that's all I can do with a generic function. Now, plug in 7. Plug in 7 into here, right? Just like over here, we plugged in 7. We got our generic, and then we plugged in 7. Let's plug in 7 here. So, square root of 7 squared plus 15. I'm going sideways now, horizontal. This is the square root of 49 plus 15, 7 squared, which is equal to the square root of 64, which is equal to 8, and there's our answer for B, 7A and 7B. Okay, we'll have to stop at this point and go to the next video.